What's happening with it? We got to get some heads in here, man. This is a little impromptu show, a little Monday night discussion for your fussing. Come on, let me see some good peoples up in here. It's Killa Convos tonight. What we doing? It's Monday Night Raw, and it's going down. I need to see the palm tree. I need to see the protectors, and I need to see the Killa Convos familia. How y'all doing? How your mama doing? We got some shit to tell you tonight. Oh, Lord, this is about to be another classic. Can you smell that classic in the distance? I smell that classic. Come on, get in here. Come fellowship with your boy. Come fellowship with your blog, man. Come on, man. And comment your city as you come in. I want to know where you from. I probably do know where you from. Killer Convos number 3. I almost say Killer Combos number 3. What am I ordering at the drive-thru? About to talk about some stuff that really, really matters. My girl Lauren in the house. What's up? My homie Third Sheep from Seattle up in here. My boy Jose out there in Austin. What's going on with y'all? And I don't own no goddamn music. Waiting on Killa Queen to get up in here. Let's play something off this. We're gonna play a little something off this Killa Convos playlist. Let's go with this one. Some Dom K. All hail for the Queen. The Queen's entering, y'all. Let's get the Queen on stage. Let's get this Queen on stage. Georgia to Seattle. Hey, Matt. Accepting. Shout out Casey Storm in the house. Yeah. Let me take you on a day. Yes. We ain't gotta wait. Tell me if you got an ex nigga in the way. I usually never smoke on live, just smoke on interviews. I get to today. I'm outside. We outside, baby. Killa Queen's unable to join. Let me make a toast. Baby over there, cause you know I wanna fuck, no I don't. I just wanna get in the dough. Drop out the house and go dipping on the smokes. Niggas know 212s in the back seat. Passing by the kids and they yelling, that's me as I skate. Yep, sure am having a nice evening. There she is.
Hey y'all, sorry my phone was acting retarded. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, I was hoping it's not me because I'm like, if this internet outside is tripping, I'm gonna have a fucking issue. Well, you look nice.
Thank you. So do you, brother. So do you.
Hair looking all freshly brushed.
Fresh brush.
Glasses on. You looking like a cool preschool teacher who smokes pot.
Preschool teacher in the house.
Preschool. Well, speaking of preschool, let's talk about these kids.
Oh, Lord.
All right, so what I wanted to speak on with you tonight is this, man. You know, as a young single man who has dated many, many ladies and never had the pleasure, and some of these women, as I get older, will have children. That's just a fact of life. It's a beautiful thing, right? Women, you know, people gonna have kids. They're gonna start families. You know, some start young like you, some wait till they're older, and we got everything in between. But I've had conversations with my mom about meeting with, you know, just her meeting women. And believe it or not, she hasn't met that many of the women I've dated. But she's been pretty vocal about not bringing home a romantic partner of interest who has kids. Why? Well, to me, I haven't really had the pleasure of meeting anyone's child yet. So for me, it usually doesn't matter. Most of these relationships today that I go through end up being really short term. But she said, you know, with somebody else's kid, you know, then you get that kid's problems. you know, and my homie ASL 320, he just joined, and he's, you know, him and his wife have a beautiful daughter. I want his opinion on this too. But my mom said, don't bring home nobody with kids. Why? It's because with that kid comes the drama from his or her father. And here comes more issues of like, why ain't your girl still with the kid's dad?
Right.
You know, so as a mother of one yourself, talk to me, Jess. What do you think about that?
To be honest, I feel like it could be different for anybody. So I've experienced it kind of on both ends. So I had dated somebody who had no kids. I think I was 23 at the time, 22, 23. And I had dated somebody whose parents were not okay with the fact that I had a child at all. Like, they didn't
Really?
care how old my child was. They didn't care how old I was. Like, just the fact that I had a child. Um, so I ended up finding out that he lied about it. He lied about my kid
Yeah,
to
and how
them.
old were you guys for perspective at the time?
I was 22, 23. He was like about 24. I think he was
Okay,
like,
where were you living at the time?
I was living in Georgia,
Okay,
in ATL.
continue the story.
And they were Hispanic. They were Salvadorian. Um, I don't know what it was. Like, she loved me, but like once she found out I had a kid, like it was a big old problem. She had a big old issue with it. Um, by then he had already been like acquainted with my son,
Really?
and you know they did have a good relationship when my son was a child. Well, he's still a child, but when he was younger, um, I don't call him a child anymore because he's like grown as shit. He's about to be 12 in November, and he has a fucking mustache. It's insane. Um,
I always thought that if your son came around here, or you know, was around me, and I introduced some of our other friends around, I wouldn't even say that's just not to hide it. I'd just be like, "That's the little homie. What's his name?" Just be like, "Yeah, that's the little homie."
yeah, but so I experienced it on that side, and then another past relationship, I had dated somebody also from the Hispanic community. That was a Puerto Rican this time. And they fucking, like, my parents and my sisters and all of them told me like, hey, you shouldn't date him. And it wasn't because like he didn't have any kids, but they were like, oh, like you shouldn't date him. Like, I don't think that's somebody that you should have around your child and things like that. And I always say, you know, you never know, like, if your parents are telling you things just because they're hating. Sometimes, you know, hating ass people be your family.
Yeah,
And you know, it could be the truth. In that last case, like, it was the truth. Like, my sisters were absolutely right, like 100% right. So I don't know. I think it's like it's a struggle in general. Like when you date people with kids, and it's so weird because like me and my best friend Puda, we were talking about how like we want to date people with kids. It's so hypocritical. Like we were literally talking
wow.
not that long ago.
So,
We're like, you know what? I personally like. I don't want to date anybody with kids.
so you
Like the
as a
person,
mother would not date a father,
I wouldn't prefer it.
right? Okay.
I wouldn't prefer it. Now, if if my boyfriend now had a kid, like I feel like I would accept him like as if that child was my own. But that's not something that I'm like, okay, 100%. Like, all right, you know what? I want me a dude with a kid. Like, no, I don't know why. I don't
Hmm.
know why, but I don't know about dating somebody with kids. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, let me ask you this. So your son has met your current boyfriend, right?
Yes,
Okay. How did they get along?
great.
Okay. Has his family met him?
Yes,
Okay. And how'd that go?
that went great too. Whenever
Okay.
over there, you know, they're always asking like, And Julian, like, where is he? Where's he at? Like, because my son goes with his dad every other weekend. You know, his father is active. So, you know, when he's not with us, they're like, you know, where is he at? And, you know, his grandpa, he called, like, his dad's grandpa, like, he'll give him money and they'll talk and stuff like that. Like, it's, it's, it's a good, it's a good, healthy relationship,
Yeah.
I should say.
It's a good healthy camaraderie. I'm
Yeah,
saying this, but one thing I've been warned about from women I've dated who have not even their own biological children, but let's say like if a woman is real tight with her nephew and really involved in like the raising of him, what she'll say is like, well, I'm really selective with the men I date because kids get attached to people.
that's very
You know,
true.
that's very true. So have you ever had an experience about that where like, you know, you might be talking to a guy and then, you know, he get real good, you get real
Yeah,
good with him and then you bring him around your son and then some shit happens and then he's out the picture and then your son's like, where's Bill?
yeah. I've had three major relationships in my life, other than with his dad. You know, his dad is a relationship that I have when I was very young. I was with him till I was almost 18. Um, Started
So you're
from
almost what age? I'm sorry, you cut off.
18
Eight,
till
eight.
18.
Okay.
Um, I've I've always been in very long relationships. You know, so I've had three major ones. The first one, Julian was very close with him, but that was somebody I dated when he was, you know, a baby. Um, and you know, over time he forgot about him. You know, and say like
Really?
never asked about him again because it was that young stage. You know, and then the second one, he was attached as well, but not as much. You
Right.
know, and the third one, he was like completely attached. So
Right.
you know, it's
Um,
definitely a process, and it's definitely something that you have to be careful with when you're dating. Um, One thing about me though is I never, and there's one thing that I love about myself is I never gave a fuck. You know, like I never cared what people thought because I've never been the type to like be single for long and live that single life and shit like that. Like I've always been in a long relationship. So I was like, you know what? This is what I want to do, and I'm gonna be in a relationship. And obviously, when you're in relationships, you know you're a package. You and
right.
your kids. So it's better
Well,
out that they get along now, and if y'all don't, like, hey, you and my kid don't get along. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let me put it to you this way. On one hand, I agree with whatever you're saying. In fact, I wholeheartedly agree with whatever you're saying. With what you're saying, it's the fact that you know the goal of dating traditionally is to move towards marriage. You know, pre internet. What's up, Miles Lowe? Everybody go follow my partner Miles Lowe out of North Las Vegas. Very dope MC. Met him through KBLA Talk Radio. Wonderful dude. But getting back to this discussion of Mama don't like don't want no kids, which I never left. Now so traditionally dating would be to uh, move towards marriage. You
right?
know, and in in a family, it's all about family structure. So obviously, a child is part of that family structure. Now, culturally, I don't know if this is a black thing or a Fleming thing, but let's say, okay, if it's a Fleming thing, my thing is this, right? Is that I'm an only child, right? So I think that my mother in particular, and I will only speak for myself, is that it's the overprotectiveness of getting too emotionally involved or possibly financially invested in someone else's child
Yeah,
is my best guess at it.
yeah,
Now, if it, I can't speak for it being a black thing because I don't know every black person, but I think you know when fathers usually often are out of the home, it's a different it's a different ball game where you have to say, well, there's that whole talk about, oh, I'm not the stepfather, I'm the father who stepped up. You know, we all know a lot of people who are raised by stepfathers, but why is it like looked down upon or frowned upon to be a stepfather or to be a woman? What am I fucking trying to say here? To be a man to a woman who has children. Why is that frowned upon? To raise somebody else's children.
And that's something that I'll probably never understand why it is frowned upon. Because, I mean, obviously, I'm a teacher, right? I started off in an infant room. For those who don't know, yes, there are teachers for infants. Yes, there are teachers for infants, for babies. Um, so like I started off with babies, and even obviously I'm about to have a 12-year-old, so I went through that whole newborn stage, toddler stage, you know, preschool stage, and then school age. So it's like watching these children grow over time is like such a beautiful thing.
From
And
pacifiers to PS5s.
literally, well my baby's an Xbox
Oh,
baby.
okay.
But yeah, so it's like that's one of the most beautifulest things in the world is watching children grow, and the fact that people make these decisions to with when you really have no attachments, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not on paperwork unless we were to get married and you adopt my kid or some shit like that. But like you really have no ties to my kid. So if you wanted to wash your hands with us and dip, like you could. You know what I'm saying? And for men who choose to like step up and well, not even necessarily the word step up, like obviously in some cases there's a step up stage
Right.
where the father ain't doing what he's supposed to do and shit like that, so they come and step up and play that part. And then you have fathers who are named stepfathers that are just a second father figure, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just as much involved as the birth. So I just think that is beautiful and is dope and it's amazing when, and that's vice versa. That's for women who, you know what I'm saying, do date guys with kids and shit like that. Take their kids in and love them as their own, and I think that shit's dope too.
Well, if he's still watching, and I hope he is, Casey, I wanted to bring you up, man, because Casey actually dated my co-host of my other podcast and live stream, Beatbox. He dated Kelsey. And not to air any of their personal business out, but I wanted to know, like in the comments, how was that experience? Dating a woman with a son. How was that for you as a man with no children? All right, let's hear from Larry Boy Wonder. I dated a girl for 7 years, and during that time, I helped raise her 6-year-old son, coached him in baseball and football every year. When his mother and I split, I still continued the relationship with him. That's great, Larry. Let's go.
That's
Well,
real shit.
well done, man. Well done. Bravo. But I just want to know I was once told this. This was actually yikes. This is the week my dad passed away. So if we're on the topic of family. So it was last year in September. I was interviewing Palm files that haven't been released. Dun dun dun. But I was interviewing Lil Zay Osama, who's a very controversial rapper from Chicago. And somehow the conversation between him, myself, and my partner Lil Moon veered off this way, and we started talking about dating women with children. And amongst my friend group, I got a little reputation for doing this. Right, my nickname last year was the baby mama whisperer, because so many people just about to slap me through the screen, because so many of the chicks I went out with had kids. Now, mind you, all of these were fast food relationships or situationships or long distance and such. But I was asked by this guy when I was interviewing this rapper, I was asked by somebody in his entourage, like someone in his crew who was not on camera or not mic'd up off to the side, when we started talking about dating women with kids. And I said, you know what, I don't really got a problem dating women with kids. And he said, let me ask you this. How many seats are in your car? I said, well, shit, including mine, 5. He said, now how many of the seats do you want to put other niggas' kids' car seats in? And, I went home and told my mom that, and ever since then, that's been my mom's gotcha line for like dating women with kids. And it's the fact that you inherit their responsibility.
Mm,
Yeah. So what do you think about that?
I think that I feel like to each their, what's that saying? To each their own. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever your preference, whatever makes you happy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like everything ain't for everybody. You know, everybody is different in their own way. So, like I said, shit, I don't make sense either. I got a kid and I'm not trying to date nobody with kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that shit makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody just feels differently. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, but nah.
You know what I've been thinking about a little bit? Well, before I say what I'm thinking, let me read my man Casey's comment. It says, "It was fine. I've just never been a kid person, and she knew that, so it was always an elephant in the room. I'm a selfish ass person, though. Well, see, the first step is admitting it. And with me, I might be a selfish ass person too. I don't have kids. I don't have pets. I don't even have plants. Feels pretty good to only give a fuck about myself." That's a line I've said before. Go watch my stand-up comedy from Tao Comedy in June 2022. It's on my YouTube channel. But I traditionally, a man's role is to provide, right? Traditionally, to be the head of the household, to be the breadwinner. And with that being said, part of the duties of that is if you are going to take this woman, you need to be there for her child, because it's about building families. You understand? But nevertheless, I don't think I now this is a whole nother, that's a topic for another episode, but it's like, why have I not been in a long-term relationship is the question, and I would, if I had my way, I prefer to be in a long-term relationship. Oh, Kelsey just stepped in the house. Shout out to Foxy Box. Everybody go follow her. But if I had my choice, yeah, I probably, between a woman with kids and without kids, I to date, I'll probably pick the one without, just because your time, your time and your focus and your energy to be focused on you. Now watch this. It's like, sometimes with all you got going on in your life, as a guy and as a young man hustling trying to get it right, is like, you may prefer somebody with kids because they got bigger fish to fry. She has other stuff on her plate and she just want to have a good time, and you know that her time is valuable, between raising a kid and working and whatever else she likes to do, so your role is to be the fun provider, not the son provider, if you will. So
Yep.
what do you think about that?
I feel like if you are trying to have fun, you know what I'm saying, and just do your own thing, not have no ties or responsibilities, and nobody like playing with your heartstrings, more power to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Foxy said, "Yeah, you definitely have kids because you have a lot of excitement in your life. Someone with kids will hold you back."
Hmm. Well, that's interesting. But at the same time, though, let me put it to you like this. One idea I wanted to share. I've dated women who have had dogs, right? And there's a whole thing like, oh, pets are the new kids, and because the economy's so tight and less people are having kids in the first place, less people are getting married. There's this whole notion of like, pets are the new kids. And I've dated some dog moms, right? And to me, I find that annoying as fuck. Like, let me tell you something. I don't have anything against dogs, but growing up slightly allergic, okay, I got a little something against dogs. Like, it depends. It seriously depends on the dog. Like, seriously. Because if the dog's too big and too excited, I ain't trying to play all that.
Right.
Like, who sing that song? I just came here to chill. Like, I'm not trying to pick up poop. I'm not trying to hear woof woof woof. I'm not trying to get jumped on, and I still get, slight allergic reactions if I don't take a Claritin before I come in the presence of a dog. There's so many factors of like why a dog would get on my nerves. Now, on the contrary, if you replace the dog with a kid, wait, let me finish this though. With a somebody who has a dog, it's like, okay, girls have told me, hey, part of loving me means loving my dog, you know. Um, and I've had some that say, well, my dog has all these problems, and I've been like chilling with a young lady, and like a dog's bit through my Apple Watch band. Luckily, she had another Apple Watch band just sitting there that happened to be my size. So look at God. But I've had had skepticism about women's dogs too. At the same time, it's like I don't want to clean up poop. Like I would much rather go to a baseball game or a soccer game than the dog park. You know, so like sometimes I've had a good female friend who I call her my sister. She's very dear to me, Ashley, say this, like, I see a scenario for you in the future where, you might meet a woman, she had one, and then y'all have one, and then now you have two. And that's how it could be. And I keep an open mind to that in my back pocket, although that's like, if I'm talking to God right now, that's not my first pick. But it's, hey, I'm a blind referee. I can't call it. So like, from Jessica, from your friends, like, how has it been with other friends, and be specific about like, what place you lived and what color they were, like other friends and how their families react to them getting with somebody with kids.
Hmm. I feel like there's a lot of friends that I have that are in the Hispanic culture, and their parents do not want them to date people with kids.
Yes.
I feel like they probably want them to focus on, business or what they have going on prior to getting married and kids, and they want you to build your career and your life beforehand before you do anything. So it's mostly like the Hispanic culture that I see, you know,
Opposition.
slow us from anything. They feel
Right.
that there's a certain way that you need to do things, and if you don't do it that certain way, you get some backlash and shit.
I think it also depends on, if somebody's father's in the house. And the
Yeah.
topic of women with kids, I never really heard my dad speak much about this. I think we could have a whole nother episode just about like my parents responding to the women I would take interest in. And actually I don't think that's a Killa Convos episode. I think that's a Dylan therapy session that he needs to have in private. but I I don't really I don't really see it as a problem. It's just like for me personally, it's like none of these relationships end up that serious. So usually I say, well, it doesn't matter if they have a kid or not. I'm not going to meet the kid, you know. And now I'm very clear and upfront whenever I do, and I always kind of was this way. When I do meet a woman with kids, I say, okay, so where's his dad or her dad? Well, how's your relationship with them? Okay, and it's important for me to get that good understanding because I need to also not only know, I need to know how this kid's being raised, and then how the woman's view of men is.
Yeah. Because there's so much that, and just working with kids, like I see how some of these parents, like, no shade, but shade, no names, but God, like the way that some of these kids get brought up and raised is just beyond me.
Some of those kids are running their households.
Man.
See what? Shout out to Abdon, dope producer. If you need beats, go follow him. He said, I've dated women with children, and it can be a gift and a curse depending on the situation, especially where the father is in their lives. Exactly. And that's why we get all those details up front as men. Because also, like, if a woman is withholding information, I have to say, hey, bottom line, if me and you start hanging out, is he gonna pop out the bushes on me?
Like, is he over you or is he in you still? Like, which
Yeah.
one? What's going on?
No, and I've straight up had to ask girls before, like, well, my baby daddy this and blah blah blah. So, is your baby daddy a good dad? Yeah. Do you still fuck him? Like, hey, just throw it out there. You didn't get this kid
It's
out of thin air,
for real.
you know. So yeah, I think that also in terms of my family, my mother's side is this aristocratic, everybody's college educated um, side where there have not been that many children out of wedlock, and that's rare for black families. You know, there's one kid out of wedlock, but then her mom, my cousin Christina, got married and had another baby with her husband Ricardo, which brought her to three kids, right? So, and then so it also depends on what your family is accustomed to in terms of marriage, you know. But dating in 2024 sucks ass anyway. So like, I ain't even trying to go there. Like, hey, how long have you been with your guy?
I've been with him since September of last year.
September of last year. Okay. So as somebody who's in a relationship, we're gonna do a future episode, but I just want to give you a little teaser about this. As somebody in a relationship, how's it going, and how do you view the dating climate as a taken woman?
I feel like dating. I feel like dating is fun and it's exciting, and especially when you're still young, you know.
Right, and he doesn't
And
have kids of his own.
no, he has no
Okay.
kids. Um, but the dating has been a good experience. It's been a fun experience. Um, it's been a healthy experience, and I think that's something that is very important in relationships, in all relationships. If they're healthy, Um, so just being in a relationship, coming from not a normal relationship, you know what I'm saying, in my personal life and my upbringing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up with fucking one dad and two moms in the same household, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, shit's not normal. Um, to being in a normal relationship and now realizing, like, all right, all that shit that was going on before, prior to this healthy relationship, like, that was not love, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not, at least that's not how you want to experience love. Like, that's not for you, and that's okay. And then you realize, all right, this is what I want, and I'm not settling for less. And like, I'm not accepting no bare minimum around this bitch. Like,
Do you find that you get enough alone time with your man? And then remind me his name again. I'm sorry.
Ramiro,
With Romero. And then what's his rap name again? Concept.
King Quota.
King Quota. King Quota. Do you get enough time with King Quota, aka Romero, solo? And then do you find yourself spending time as a family with him and your son?
I feel like I do get enough time, alone time with him, and then you know we have a lot of family time. Like, we're constantly spending time together. We watch movies and we like to go out to eat. Like, we got our same routine every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like, Saturdays and Sundays, the weekend is really, you know make our and do whatever we want to do as family, and then even during the week, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Do the same thing. We don't switch up a lot.
You know what? The more I'm talking to you about this, the more I'm kind of realizing that like even dating somebody with a kid and like also spending time with your woman and her child is kind of like just a sign of being an adult. And
Yeah.
part of why my mom objects to this so hard is because I am an only child and she's preserving her baby boy.
Oh, yeah. Because you're
Yeah.
how old? You're what? 33?
I'm 31. Don't rush me.
31?
This flavor year. Yep.
Damn. Oh, yeah. Because you was just 30. I remember. I'm sorry. I'm just high. It's It's this it's blueberry muffin.
You
I
ate an
got blueberry muffin.
edible?
No, it's weed.
Oh, the strain is called blueberry muffin.
Yeah, the strain called blueberry muffin.
Do you know the Muffin Man? He lives on Drury Lane.
But so what are some dope strains you've been smoking lately?
Man, this shit right here, nigga. This shit right here. I like, to be honest with you, I'm not even into it. Like, uh, I just go to the shop and then I don't really have a go-to strain. I just like, uh, yeah, that Muffin Man shit was a dad joke for your ass. Bankhead, what's up? We were just talking about you. Um, I don't really even pay attention to the strain like that. I just like say, hey, I have an $80 budget and I need 14 grams. Or say, hey, I have $100 budget and I need an ounce. And I'm getting what they give me, and I say, I might tell her split it half indica and half hybrid, or like I try to mix and match, but like I find, depends on what I'm in the mood for. But I'm not like, yes, I am a weed smoker, but like to be a pot connoisseur like that is like a little beyond me. But usually it's indica, usually it's OG. It's always got to be Kush. Always got to be OG Kush. Come on now. Like, I think, you can never go wrong with that. Although my homie Matt, shout out to my boy Space Race from Tuna Melt, he had some shit one time at his mom's house in Pasadena that smelled just like Sprite, like lemon lime soda. He said, I can't date a chick who doesn't smoke. Doesn't smoke pot?
What's crazy is my man don't smoke or drink.
Really?
And I do both.
That's what's up. I don't drink. Yeah, you never guessed that though. I mean, it was like I thought about, since I've been 60 days sober from alcohol, like I probably consume more beer drinking this non-alcoholic beer. I probably consume more beer in this time than I have ever.
What non-alcoholic beer did you drink?
It depends. So usually the non-alcoholic Coronas are really good, but those stores be out of those a lot. So there's a company called Athletic that has a golden brew that's a nice like blonde. Then there's non-alcoholic Dos Equis and Heineken. Also Golden Road Mango Cart comes in non-alcoholic too. You can pick those up at Bevmo.
Okay.
Plug on my ass. My iPad's on 10%, so we gotta wrap up soon. But yeah, the mocktail game is dope. Like there's a lot of non-alcoholic adult beverage options. Oh, there's non-alcoholic White Claw too. Um, so, we got another question, another comment from Ab the Dawn. He said, "I've been with my wife since '99 and married since 2005. I will say this: relationships, rather with children involves or not, depends on how the people in it carry each other, love on each other." Yeah. You're definitely right. Before I want Jessica's thoughts on that, but before that, kava. Hey man, I tried kava at this function last. Was it Friday or Saturday? Yeah, Friday. Kava is the shit. Like, mind you, I was smoking a little joint with somebody right before I drank it at this little street fair in not a street fair, that this little pop-up function in Altadena. Like this guy, shout out to him, his name's Mike, he followed me. He had a stand and he was making kava drinks and he poured it over this like sparkling orange soda, this sparkling orange stuff, and you have some fruit in there, and then like within minutes it's different. It's a Polynesian remedy that they actually use to cure alcoholism, but within minutes you do feel a very physical and you feel you feel a physical and cerebral sensation that really chills you out. Never tried I've never tried a THC soda, but I imagine like it's similar to that. It's kind of like a beverage version of a blunt. It's just very, very chill. Like you just want to listen to like Slightly Stupid and Sublime and 311 and like Bone Thugs and like super chill ass music, and a nigga could be like all annoying you in your face, like literally being like I ran into an old friend from middle school there, like who I hadn't seen in years, and then she's dating this fool that like looked like Lil Peep. Like he looked like Lil Peep without the dyed hair. Just imagine like a kind of drugged out looking white boy, like all tatted up. This fool was so annoying, and then he kind of sounded like sounded a little zesty, but
That's insane.
yeah. So, but he's like kind of being all annoying and shit and whatnot. But I'm like, I'm off this kava, and it's like I'm just in this little chill bubble. Like I don't know if you've ever played Crash Team Racing for PS1. Oh yeah, but anyway, so there's this item that you get in this racing game that's like a little bubble around you. It's like that's how chill this shit is. So I like kava, but the dude said don't abuse it though. Don't drink it like beer. It's like you could, and then in my mind I'm like, okay, one and done, or two and you're through.
Shout out to Southbound.
Shout out Southbound. We're gonna have him on Killa Combo soon. But yeah, Jess, what do you think about Abdadon's comment about relationships rather with children involved or not depend on how the people in it carry each other, love on each other?
I agree 100% because, I mean, in all relationships, it depends on how the people carry themselves and carry each other, how they love each other and care for each other. So I agree.
Right on. Is there anything else we want to say on the topic of mama don't want no kids?
Um, shit. If your mama don't want you with someone that has kids, do what the fuck you want to do. Let me just say that. Do what you want to do. You want to be with somebody who's got 5 kids, do it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't do it. That's all I gotta say. We got a lot of dope shit coming up soon.
Yeah. We got a lot of dope feedback on this live too, so yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely coming with it this summer. It's Killer Combos. Hey, Killa Queen, is there anything else you want to plug?
Y'all go show love to the Killa Combos page. We haven't been able to go live on there, but still go show some love. We got some dope guests coming on the show soon. People all over. You know what I'm saying? Talking about different topics, real life, real shit. Y'all.
All right. All right, everybody. This has been Killer Combos. Hey, man, make sure you subscribe to Palm Official on YouTube, where all of our episodes are going to be posted. And make sure you love yourself and drink some water and
Wash your ass.
hydrate. Wash your ass, yeah. And we'll see you next time. All right, peace.
Peace.